All right, 2.2. So students are still in here working on their test corrections. It's the same day as the video for 2.1. So just ignore any background noise that you might hear.
Hey guys.
Oh my God. That's them if you heard them. If not, I'm glad. Okay, so in the first part of the ready, this is a very short part. You should not need a calculator, but if it makes you feel better, you can have a calculator to be practicing with these for the exponents. I actually have mine sitting right beside me right now, so that is okay. So we want to find the answer to each logarithmic equation, then show how each equation supports the statement. The answer to a logarithmic equation is always the exponent. By writing each log equation as an exponential equation. So I can set all of these equal to y. So that's how I'm going to start. I'm going to just set them equal to y. So we're going to do, let's do number 3. Most of you are going to look at 3 and just say, forget it, I'm not going to do it. It's a decimal. It's okay. You can deal with this. So this is 5 to the what is 1/5. Now let me explain where I get the 1/5 from. 0.2 is the same as 2 over 10, which simplifies to 1/5. The reason I wanted to write it as a 5 is because my base is a 5. Now I can use my mental math. Since I have a fraction, my exponent has to be negative. So 5 to the what is 5? 1. So y equals -1. So I found the answer. Now I'm going to show the statement, or show this in exponential form. So to prove it, so 5 to the -1 equals 1/5. So that's all of the work that I need for number 3. And you're going to need to make sure you do all of that work for every single one of them. You may use mental math. Don't forget it's 5, so number 1, 5 to the what is 625. Then you can say, okay, 5 to the whatever, you are writing that in exponential form. So I showed you the work here because it was a fraction, but I am okay with you guys using mental math. All right, that's the ready. Let's move on to the set. Answer the questions about each graph. The reason it is asking you to use a straight edge, you are going to be trying to find values that match with your x and your y axis. You can use your ID card as a straight edge. You just need to make sure your straight edge is parallel to the x-axis or the y-axis, whichever direction you are holding it. So I'm going to use a line when I'm doing this so you guys will see a straight edge. You should be able to analyze a graph by looking at it. Don't forget, f of x always equals y. So in A, when it's asking me, what is the value of x when f of x equals 0? I want to find x where y equals 0. That's what I'm looking for. So I go to y equals 0. Okay, here is where y equals 0. And then the x is right here. So this is the point 1, 0. Y is 0, x is 1. So my answer to A is x equals 1. For the straight edge, for example, if I am looking at, let's look at 8C, since it's a 9, and that is pretty far out there on the graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, here's 9. I want to look up, and then I want to match this over to the y-axis. So f of x will equal 2. Don't overthink these, please. Writing the equation of the graph and answering A through D, you should now be starting to understand what the base is. So y equals log base. Find this little number. This is what you are looking for of x. You are looking to fill in that little box. So pay attention to the numbers that you are getting, please. All right. 9 and 10. Use the graph in the table of values for the graph to write the equation. Explain which numbers in the table helped you the most to write the equation. So pay attention to how your graph is actually moving. Keep in mind that 1, 0 is a starting point for every single logarithmic graph. You're starting there. And that your y-axis is always your asymptote. So you always want to look and see where your asymptote has been moved to and how this point has been moved. So if I am looking at 9, I will get you started on 9. So make sure you're taking good notes. This point has now moved down here. It is now the point 1, -2. It should have been 1, 0, which means my graph has now moved down 2. So I would have a log base something. I don't know what that base is going to be yet. A log base something of x minus 2. The reason I have the minus 2 is because my graph is moving down. My asymptote should always be at y equals 0. Sorry, I don't know why I said y equals. At x equals 0. So in this case it is. So there's no left or right movement. There was only the downward movement. So now when I'm looking at my values, the 1, -2 should have been 1, 0. So all of these can actually be shifted up 2. And that would help me get what my base is supposed to be if I am shifting them up 2. Sorry, I'm yawning. Long day. Now everyone else is yawning. This will make more sense, you guys, as we do the task. So if you're watching this early, trying to get this homework done, and we haven't finished the 2.2 task yet, yes, this is not going to make sense. But after we complete the task, writing the equations of these two hopefully won't be so bad. Always try and find other points that you guys can use. Use a straight edge. Okay, so this one I go all the way here, and then I get this point, which is 4, -1. So you can always find all of these other points. And again, that's going to help you get your base. All right, let's look at the go. Simplify each expression. Answers should only have positive exponents. So don't forget you're going to use your properties of exponents. So let's just review that again. Properties of exponents. So if I have a base and a base, I'm going to add my exponents. So this is x to the 5th. But if I have parentheses, here, parentheses are going to indicate that I multiply my exponents. So this is x to the 6th. So when you guys are looking at your exponents over here in the homework, start by, oh, I have parentheses, I can multiply. Okay, so those are your first two basic properties of exponents. Now, what if I have an x squared and a y inside the parentheses and a 3 on the outside? This is when you can distribute. This is the only time because it's multiplication inside. So I still multiply my exponents. This will give me x to the 5th, y to the 3rd, because there is an invisible 1 on the y. And then don't forget, last property that we need to talk about is if I have a negative exponent, If I have an x to the negative 4, this is 1 over x to the positive 4. Then you guys can be getting rid of your exponents. But in this part of the homework, you don't have to. It says answers should only have positive exponents, so you do not need to finish them. It's just practicing the properties. Okay? That wraps up our 2.2 video for the homework. If you have questions, you know where to find me. In case you've forgotten, I'm in room 921 from 7 to 8 in the morning and at lunch. Okay, bye.